What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Bluezelle, BLZ, USD on Coinbase today. It's on a bunch of different exchanges, but we're going to be using the Coinbase chart. What a fantastic run it's had, man. This thing is just proving its resilience. I really do wish that I got in down here. I did not think that this was going to be the low, man, but with all the news, all the things that's happening right now, it just went up, man. It went up without me, and that's just kind of how it is sometimes, man. You expect, even if it has a move up like this, you expect a pullback. You might not get it, and worst case scenario is you're still left with your cash on the side, and you missed out on a move. I mean, if we were to buy here, let's see, if we were to buy this low, probably wouldn't have bought the low, but if you were to buy the low, I mean, that's 158% in a very short amount of time, right? This is the daily chart, so that's like a few weeks, couple weeks. Very nice move, very strong move. Not a lot of volume. This day was, let's go on the Binance chart. We might see more on there. Not a lot of volume, man, which isn't encouraging. You like to make these moves up, Bluezelle, without volume, don't you? You know, on the weekly, I was looking at this too. You've got bearish divergence, pretty severe bearish divergence right now. And that would, you're at 25 cents right now. That would take you all the way back down to about 17.6 cents. And I'd be more than happy to buy there. I know that, what was it, my last video was probably at like 18 cents. Okay, so that'd be a little bit lower than that. I've been talking about buying around 16 to 15 cents. Before that, I was talking about buying way lower than that. But guys, you gotta adapt. You gotta be malleable, fluid with the flow of things, right? When you get a move like this, you can't, you know, I was expecting prices to go down to, what was it? Somewhere around 7 to 8 cents, maybe even like 9.5 cents, somewhere around there. I actually had buy orders set around like 9.69, 9.5, and around 8 cents. With buy orders just as low as like 7.2 cents actually. But had to forego that, man. I had to forego that on this day here. Why? We had a move, let's see, from low to high that bounced off the 382, and on this day we broke above the 236, negating the idea, or at least adding validity to the idea that we probably will go higher. Now, I was waiting for a pullback still. I thought that we'd get some kind of move maybe back to this 236. We didn't get it. We just kept going higher. And this is where I want to talk about this fib here. From the top to the bottom, we're up in this kind of common area of extensions, and we're seeing some resistance right now. We are seeing some resistance right now. Bounced at the 1414, found a little bit of resistance. It's very common to come back down to your 886, your 786, or your 618. You could find support there and go higher. You could find support at your 786 and go higher, or you could go right back to the sweet spot and go higher. The minimum price target of which would be about just below 17 cents, the maximum of which would be 20 cents. Here we are sitting at 25 cents right now, so that's a minimum of what, a 20%, if not more, drop, right, to the downside. That would be from the current price about 19% to maybe a 33% drop. I do plan on buying on this pullback. I do think that we're going to get a pullback. I've been saying that. I have been saying that since we started moving up. But, you know, I do want to get in on this thing. I think that it has great potential. I think it's going to steal the show, man. I really think this is going to be a top performer in the coming bull cycle. It's at 25 cents, still very, very early. You wouldn't be dumb for buying here. I mean, maybe you'd feel dumb if you bought here and it went down to 20 cents or 16 cents. You might feel dumb, but you're not dumb, man. You wouldn't. It's not in me to chase. That's why I'm not buying here personally. I like to buy on pullbacks. I would rather, like if I could have bought here, right? I'm the type of person that I'd rather this thing come up, get a pullback, and buy higher. I would rather do that, because here there's still a solid chance that this could have been a bull trap and we go lower. But now that's negated, right? Now I can buy on this pullback, confident, believing, you know, I can go like all in, go real ham on this thing, and just expect it to go higher, right? And not worry about like losing any capital. So that's kind of the thing. I just wanted to make a video talking about it because I've been wrong on this thing. I've been wrong on a couple cryptos lately, but that's okay. You have dry spells, you have hot streaks. I did have a hot streak before, but that's okay, man. I feel like I'm not the best at judging whenever something is going to change its pace. Like, I was calling for this move down, but I thought it would go lower. And I was even saying that here could have been a low, but I wouldn't have expected that. It was at this day that you could just basically no longer, sorry, that was a bad circle, but this day here that you could no longer ignore that we're going higher. And we did. We really did. So at this point in time, I'm just waiting for a common retracement from bottom to top. The 618 is all the way down at 16 cents. The 382 is at about 20 cents, which lines up with this zone as well, right? You've got your 886 at 20 cents, which is where your 382 is. 69, 618, kind of in this area between the 0.5 and the 618 as well. You don't have to touch any of these lines. They're not magnets. They're not walls. They're just ideas. But something lower, probably lower than 22 cents, probably even lower than 20 cents before I start buying. But I am planning on buying this thing, man. Let me just see real quick while I'm here. Love it, man. I really do love to see it. This thing's going to do great too, man. But yeah, I think Bluezelle is on its way to great things. To end off on like a bullish note, let's see. BLZ USD. Let's look at some of the long-term stuff. Maybe go on the monthly. Right, okay, here we go. So from the last cycle's high to this previous cycle's low that we just had, we're actually in the sweet spot right now, right? We just tipped off the 6.9 literally. Coming back to the 0.5 to find support, not weird at all. Right there around 17 cents. There's a lot. We just went over it, man. There's a lot of significance in that area. Sure, you could come all the way down to 12 cents, but I'm not going to mess around with it, man. I'm not going to hold my breath for that kind of price action. What I am going to do is once it gets below 20 cents, depending on where it is, I'm going to start buying. That's my plan, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. If it continues to run, I'm just going to have to wait for a pullback, man. It's not in me to chase. I would rather buy on a pullback than on it going up, because at any point it could turn around, especially with a low cap. It's not that low of a cap, but it is a low cap coin nonetheless. But where we're going, from top to bottom, probably going to go to new all-time highs, above $1.42, maybe even above $3.70. Here we are sitting at $2.50, right? No, I'm sorry, 25 cents right now. From this price, that would be anything from like a 465% increase to potentially a 13x. And I think that that's going to happen in a very short. That could happen by the end of this year, guys. If not, sometime in the first half of next year. But by the end of this cycle, I have a lot higher prospects in mind, right? I think 100x is just the tip of the iceberg. $25. This thing could genuinely go up to $100, you guys. Maybe even just a little bit below that, but something like that is possible. If we look at this thing, looking at it, BLZ, not USD, just BLZ. Number 239, market cap of $106 million. What would 100x be from here? 100x, anybody? 100x would be 10.6 billion. $10.6 billion. Let's call it 10.7 billion dollars. That would be 100x. A 500x would be roughly what, like $52 billion, $54 billion, something like that. So this thing, and that right there, this price all the way up here at $100, that would be a 401x. 402, sorry, almost a 403x actually. Is a price like that possible? Can it achieve a $100 price? Absolutely. Something that's been around since 2018. I think it's been around longer than that even. Maybe it's just been on exchanges since 2018. It's been through 2 bear markets, held up higher lows, and this is where things get really great, you guys. The most volume we've ever seen in this chart came off of this all-time low area, the most volume we've ever seen, and then it doesn't look like you got a whole lot of volume coming in here, but this is where we flip to the BLZ USDT. If you haven't seen this before, I've talked about it a few times, but the absolute most volume we've ever seen actually came off of this cycle's lows. And how do you know that? How do you know that, right? You don't have all the previous historical data that we did from the last one. Well, you look at your volume, right? If it's hidden from you, you just click this arrow, you can see it, and if you should have volume on TradingView. If you're on the monthly, you scroll over, you can see it's 7.9, almost 8 billion tokens were traded at the month that we were breaking out from this like all-time low area, right? We had a very bullish month there, engulfed like half a year's worth of price action. Most volume we've ever seen, almost 8 billion tokens. Now we go back to the all-time history, and this is on the USDT pairing on Binance. Binance being the biggest crypto exchange in the world, the USDT pairing being the most traded volume pair. Now we go to BLZ USD on Binance, right? It's the same chart. You can see my shitty little squiggles. The most volume on this chart was 1.34 billion. Now it's the most volume on this chart on the all historical data that we've ever seen. It's still on Binance USD. I bet that this is the second most traded pair for the time. Maybe there's more. Maybe there's another second most traded pair than this. Maybe the USDT on Coinbase is. Maybe it still is the second most traded pair. But as of right now, the USD pair had most of its volume on this all-time low here. The USDT pair didn't exist back then, but we have even more volume now coming off of this low. So in a way, right, what you've got is like how this should really read if Binance like combined them together. You would have volume that, right, it was 8 times. This was all the way at 1.3, let's call it 1.5. 1.536 9 billion, right? So it's a little bit less than that. So 5 times. It'd be 5 times bigger than that. Going off of like the relative just like look of this volume, it would be 5 times bigger than this, man. Like the volume, if it was on this chart, it would be like, it would literally be all the way up to the price. Like, it would be insane. It would be absolutely insane. So we're seeing that coming off of, again, 2 bear markets, higher lows, a very tame bear market. The last bull market that we had, from low to high, it moved up. Is that 1,000%? Or it's 11,000%. Did it do a 1,000x? I forget. Did it do a 1,000x? It did a 1,000x, man. That's insane. From low to high, it did a 1,101x last cycle. Okay. How many of you know about Bluezelle? Nobody. I love stuff like this, right? And not nobody. I'm sure a lot of you do. You know, probably the people watching this. But I just mean, like, it's not something that's talked about commonly, right? Everybody's talking about XLM, XRP, I don't know, Sandbox, Dogecoin, right? I love Dogecoin. I think it'll do great. Ethereum, DOT, Solana, Avalanche, like name your coins that were last cycle's big news, right? Link's a good one though, man. I think Link's going to do good as well. But how many people know about Bluezelle? This 1,000x coin from last cycle that had a very, very tame bear market, and it's seeing more volume now coming off its lows than it's ever seen before. This thing's going to be huge, you guys. That's why I'm just kind of I don't know, going over it, because I'm not even in it right now, man, and I really do want to catch this thing. I think it'll do great by the end of this cycle. I full-heartedly believe that a $100 price is not just possible, but it's even likely. And here we are sitting at 24 cents, and I'm greedy, man. I want it to go lower so I can buy at a better price, but even if you bought here, not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, it still wouldn't be a bad move. I don't think at all. So that's my plan. I'm going to buy below 20 cents, above 16 cents, and I'm going to wait till the end of the cycle and sell this thing probably for prices that are well above, or maybe not well above, but above $90 is what I'm holding out for. Maybe it hits that, maybe it doesn't. If things change, I'll let you guys know. You know, I do daily updates on this right now because it's so exciting, but I will be doing regular updates, you know, throughout the whole bull cycle, because I'm very interested in this thing, man. It's a very good project. You guys should look into it if you don't know anything about it. Type in Bluezelle white paper, look it up, read about it. You know, it's a gaming token. It's a gaming storage token, basically, and a data storage token, whatever. But it's a very interesting project, and it's remained relevant and been developing for a while. And it's got more interest now than it ever has before. How do I know that? Again, the volume, man. The volume is insane. So enough of that. If you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. Please, Bluezelle, please come down. Just come back down to 20. Me and the rest of the Bluezelle constituents will buy and send you up to the heavens. Just please come down for us to get there. Anyways, take care, everybody. Have a good night. Bye-bye.